Right now, Jesus is smiling, not with judgment, not with disappointment, but with love. He sees you. He sees the weight you've been carrying quietly, the thoughts you don't say out loud, the questions you're afraid to ask, the prayers you started but never finished. Some days you feel strong. Other days you feel like you're barely holding on. And yet you're still here. You still woke up. You still kept going. Even when no one noticed. Jesus sees that strength. Even when you don single quotes T, there are moments when life feels loud. Your mind is tired. Your heart feels stretched thin. And silence feels heavy. You may have wondered if God has been quiet lately, if your prayers are going unanswered, if heaven feels distant. But hear this gently and let it sink deep into your soul. Silence does not mean absence. Sometimes God is working so deeply beneath the surface that you can't see it yet. Sometimes the greatest miracles happen in places no one applauds, in quiet endurance, in unseen faithfulness. In moments like this, Jesus has been walking beside you even when you felt completely alone. He was there on the nights you cried quietly so no one would hear. He was there when disappointment settled into your chest, when rejection made you question your worth, when you felt misunderstood, overlooked, forgotten. He was there when you questioned everything, even him. And he never left. Some of you opened this with fear in your heart, some with curiosity, some with pain, some with doubt. But Jesus welcomes you exactly as you are. You don't need perfect faith. You don't need the right words. You don't need to pretend you're okay. You just need an open heart, even if it's tired, wounded, and unsure. God says, I will be so happy if you open this today, because there is something he wants you to remember. You are not forgotten. Your life is not random. Your struggles are not meaningless. What you are going through right now is not the end of your story. It is a chapter, a difficult one, yes, a painful one maybe, but not the final one. Jesus specializes in turning broken chapters into powerful testimonies. You may feel unworthy, like you failed too many times, like you promised God you would change, and then you didn't, like you're ashamed to even pray anymore. But listen carefully. Jesus already knows, and he still invites you. Closer. He does not say, come when you are perfect. He says, come when you are tired. He does not say, fix yourself first. He says, let me heal you. Even Peter failed him. Even Thomas doubted him. Even the disciples ran away when things became hard. And yet, Jesus restored them, loved them, trusted them again. The same grace is available to you right now. Something is shifting in your life. You may not feel it yet. You may not see it clearly, but a change has already begun. A door you thought was permanently closed is slowly opening. A burden you've been carrying for too long is beginning to lift. A season of confusion is moving toward clarity, but hear this clearly. Do not give up right before the breakthrough. The enemy wants you discouraged, distracted, numb, believing that nothing will ever change. But Jesus wants you awake, present, hopeful, trusting, even when it's hard. Faith does not mean having all the answers. Faith means choosing to trust Jesus one step at a time. Some of you are worried about money, some about health, some about family, some about the future. Jesus knows each concern by name. And he says, cast all your cares on me, because I care for you. Not some of them, all of them. Take a moment now. Breathe slowly. Relax your shoulders. That gentle calm you feel right now. That sense of peace entering your chest. That is not imagination. That is his presence. God says, I will be so happy if you open this today, because Jesus wants to speak life into the places where you feel empty. He wants to replace fear with peace, guilt with forgiveness, confusion with direction. Your past does not define you. Your mistakes do not cancel your purpose. Your delays do not mean denial. God's timing is never late, even when it feels slow, even when it feels unfair, even when it feels confusing. There is a reason you are still here, a reason you didn't give up, a reason this message reached you today. You are stronger than you think, not because of yourself, but because God has been holding you up when you felt weak. If you can, whisper this prayer quietly in your heart right now. Jesus, I'm tired. I need you. Please guide me. That prayer does not go unheard. Heaven responds immediately to honest hearts. One day, you will look back at this exact moment and realize something important. This was a turning point, not because everything changed instantly, but because you chose to trust again, to hope again, to believe again. You are not alone. You never were. Jesus is with you in the waiting, with you in the healing, with you in the rebuilding. And he is not finished with your story yet. Stay, trust, keep going. Because if you open this today, it means God is not done speaking to you. And what he is about to do in your life will be greater than what you've been through. God says, I will be so happy if you open this today. And Jesus is closer than you think, closer than your fears, closer than your doubts, closer than the questions you don't know how to ask. He is closer than the voice in your head that tells you to give up, closer than the memories that still hurt, closer than the future that feels uncertain. Right now, Jesus is not watching you from a distance. He is not waiting for you to get everything right. He is not measuring your worth by your performance. He is near. Near to the heart that feels tired, near to the soul that feels empty, near to the person who keeps going, even without strength. God says, I see you. I see the silent battles you fight every day, the pressure you carry without complaining, the weight you never learned how to put down. Some mornings you wake up already exhausted, not from what you did, but from what you feel, and yet you still try. You still care. You still hope, even when hope feels fragile. That matters to God. You may feel like your life has been on pause, like everyone else is moving forward while you're stuck, like prayers were spoken, but answers never came. But hear this slowly. Delay is not denial. God is not ignoring you. He is preparing you. Some answers would have broken you if they came too early. Some blessings require a stronger version of you, one that is still being formed. Jesus is patient with your process. He is not rushing you. He is not disappointed in you. He is walking with you. There are seasons where faith feels easy, and there are seasons where faith feels heavy. Both are holy. Some of you have been faithful in silence, faithful without applause, faithful without clarity, and heaven honors that. Every tear you cried alone was seen. Every prayer whispered in weakness was heard. Every moment you chose not to give up mattered. You may not feel strong, but strength is not loud. Sometimes strength is simply staying. Staying when it would be easier to leave. Staying when your heart wants to shut down. Staying when answers don't come. Jesus stayed for you. He stayed when nails pierced his hands. He stayed when pain screamed louder than hope. He stayed so you wouldn't have to face life alone. And now, he stays with you. Right now. In this breath. In this moment, God says, I am not finished with you. Your story is still being written. Your purpose is still unfolding. Your healing is still in motion. You may feel broken, but broken things are not useless. They are often the most powerful. Broken soil grows the strongest roots. Broken light shines in the darkest places. Broken hearts learn compassion. God does not waste pain. He redeems it. What hurt you will not have the final word. What failed you will not define you. What you lost will not be the end of you. Jesus is a restorer. He restores peace where anxiety lived. He restores identity where shame took over. He restores hope where despair tried to settle. Some of you have been carrying guilt for too long, replaying past mistakes, wishing you could go back. But listen carefully. Forgiveness is not something you earn. It is something you receive. Jesus already paid for it. You don't have to punish yourself anymore. You don't have to relive what he already healed. Let it go, not because it didn't matter, but because God matters more. Right now, take a slow breath. Let go of the tension in your jaw. Let your shoulders drop. Allow your heart to soften. God is gentle with you. He does not shout. He does not rush. He does not force. He invites. And today, you said yes, simply by listening. That is faith. Even if it feels small, even if it feels weak, faith the size of a whisper can move mountains. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are exactly where God can reach you. And he is reaching now. God says, stay with me. Stay when your emotions change. Stay when your thoughts become loud. Stay when you don't understand, because clarity often comes after obedience. Peace often comes after surrender. Healing often comes after rest. You don't need to solve everything today. You don't need to have a plan for everything. You don't need to be strong all the time. You just need to stay connected. Jesus is your anchor. When emotions rise, he holds you steady. When fear speaks, he speaks louder. When the path feels unclear, he walks ahead. Even now, he is preparing something new, not rushed, not forced, but aligned. And one day, you will look back and see it clearly. You will see how this season shaped you, how waiting strengthened you, how silence taught you to listen, and you will realize God was closer than you thought. He was in the delay. He was in the struggle. He was in the quiet moments you thought were empty. They were not empty. They were sacred. If you are tired, rest here for a moment. If you are afraid, breathe here for a moment. If you are unsure, stay here for a moment. You are safe. God is near. And he says again, gently and clearly, I will be so happy if you open this today. Because it means your heart is still open. Your faith is still alive. Your story is still unfolding. And Jesus is closer than you think. Closer than the breath you just took. Closer than the thoughts running through your mind right now. Closer than the fear you've been trying to hide. He is not distant. He is not distracted. He is not waiting for another version of you. He is here, right where you are, in the middle of your confusion, in the middle of your waiting, in the middle of your becoming. God sees the parts of you that no one else sees, the parts you keep guarded, the parts you don't know how to explain, the parts you feel ashamed of. And still, He stays. Some days you wonder if your faith is enough, if your prayers are strong enough, if your heart is clean enough. But Jesus never asked for perfection. He asked for honesty. A tired prayer still reaches heaven. A broken cry is still a prayer. A whispered "help me" is still faith. You don't have to impress God. You don't have to convince Him. You don't have to earn His attention. You already have it. Right now, God is listening with patience, with compassion, with love that does not run out. There are things you've been holding inside for too long, words you swallowed, tears you delayed, pain you minimized so others wouldn't worry. But God never asked you to be strong alone. He asked you to come. Come when you're confused. Come when you're afraid. Come when you're disappointed. Come when you don't understand why things turned out the way they did. Jesus understands disappointment. He knows what it feels like to be misunderstood, to be rejected, to be abandoned by those He loved. So when you feel that ache in your chest, that quiet sadness that shows up at night, that heaviness you can't name, He recognizes it, and He does not turn away. Some of you feel like you're carrying regrets that won't leave you alone, moments you replay, choices you wish you could undo. But hear this clearly and let it settle in your heart. Your past is not louder than God's grace. What you did does not scare Him. What you regret does not disqualify you. What you lost does not mean He left. Jesus does not define you by your worst moment. He defines you by His love, and His love does not change. Even now, God is working quietly, behind the scenes, in ways you cannot see yet. Just because nothing looks different doesn't mean nothing is happening. Seeds grow in darkness. Roots strengthen underground. Healing begins before you feel relief. Waiting is not wasted time. It is preparation. And sometimes the waiting hurts because you are becoming someone new, someone more patient, more compassionate, more aware of what truly matters. You may feel tired of hoping, tired of believing, tired of trusting. So rest here. You don't need to figure everything out tonight. You don't need to carry tomorrow right now. You don't need to solve problems that haven't arrived yet. God holds tomorrow. Your job right now is to breathe, to stay, to listen. Jesus is not rushing you forward. He is walking beside you. Step by step, moment by moment. Some of you are afraid of being disappointed again, so you protect your heart by expecting less, by hoping quietly, by believing carefully. But God is gentle with wounded hearts. He does not demand bold faith from broken places. He nurtures it slowly. You are allowed to heal at your own pace. You are allowed to take breaks. You are allowed to feel unsure. You are allowed to ask questions. God is not threatened by your questions. He welcomes them, because questions mean you still care, still seek, still hope. And hope, even fragile hope, is powerful. Right now, God is closer than the fear telling you it's too late, closer than the voice saying you missed your chance, closer than the doubt whispering that nothing will change. That voice is not the truth. God's voice is gentle, reassuring, patient. And it says, I am with you, not just when things improve, not just when answers come, but now. In the uncertainty, in the waiting, in the quiet. You may feel like your prayers are repetitive, like you keep asking God for the same things, but God never gets tired of hearing your heart. Parent never gets tired of a child calling their name, and you are his child, loved, seen, held. Even when you don't feel it. There are moments ahead of you that you can't imagine yet. Moments of peace, moments of clarity, moments where you will breathe easier and wonder how you made it through. And you will realize God carried you through nights you thought would break you, through seasons you thought would never end, through silence you thought meant abandonment. It didn't. It meant trust was growing. Stay open. Stay gentle with yourself. Stay close to God. You don't need to rush the process. You don't need to compare your journey to anyone else's. Your path is sacred, and Jesus walks it with you. Right now, here, still. And he says again, softly, patiently, lovingly, I will be so happy if you open this today, because it means your heart is still listening, still hoping, still alive. And Jesus is closer than you think.